Okay, good morning everyone. So today we are going to learn about the binding energy and the binding energy curve. So first of all, already I told you what is binding energy. The amount of energy which is required to bind the nucleus is called binding energy, or we can also define the binding energy like this: the minimum energy required to separate a stable nucleus into its constituent protons and neutrons. That is, the minimum energy required to separate the neutrons and protons from the nucleus is called binding energy. So in this case, the binding energy determines what? The binding energy gives the stability of the nucleus. For example, if the binding energy is less, then the stability of the nucleus is very less. Stability is also less. Binding energy less, stability is also less. Binding energy more, stability also more. So this is what about binding energy. So what will happen? For example, this is a nucleus, positively charged nucleus consisting of protons and neutrons. If I split the nucleus into number of protons and if I split the nucleus into number of protons and number of neutrons. So for example, this is the total nucleus can be changed into its constituent particles, that is proton and neutron. So in this case, what will happen? The total binding energy of the nucleus is, for example, here it is, but the total binding energy of the proton and neutron, then the binding energy of the combination of binding energy of the proton and binding energy of the neutron, which is equal to the binding energy, isn't it? But here it is not like this. It is not equal to the binding energy of the nucleus. Why? Because of the mass defect. Because of the mass defect, the constituent particles of protons and neutrons, if you add the energies of proton and neutron, it should not be equivalent to the binding energy. It is always less than the, here the mass of the proton, for example, mass of the proton and mass of the neutron. Mass of the proton is multiplied by number of protons and mass of the neutron is multiplied by number of neutrons. This should not be equal to the mass of the nucleus. This should not be equal to the mass of the nucleus, for example, capital M. Okay, so where the mass is gone now? Okay, whenever you split the nucleus into its constituent particles, for example, the mass of the proton is ZMP and mass of the neutron is NMN. In this case, if you add the two masses of the proton and neutron and equivalent to the total mass of the nucleus, it should not be equal because of the disappearance of the value. Because here in this case we are observing that the total binding mass of the nucleus should not be equal to its constituent particles mass. Okay, so that effect is called a mass defect. Okay, the observing of that effect is called a mass defect. So this mass defect can be, so here this mass defect also can be known as loss of mass. So the loss of mass is converted into, where it gone? So the loss of the mass can be converted into the energy. This energy is called binding energy. So whenever the constituent particles lose some mass, the loss of the mass is called mass defect, and that mass, the loss of the mass can be converted into the energy. That energy is called binding energy. Here the binding energy can be defined as delta E. That is, change in energy can be represented as delta mc square. Mass can be changed into delta m into c square. Here delta m is a mass defect, that is loss of mass. Mass defect, that is a loss of mass. Now binding energy can be calculated as, the formula for the binding energy, that is delta m value is Z into mass of proton. Z means number of protons multiplied by the mass of the proton plus number of neutrons multiplied by the mass of the neutron. Okay, minus total mass of the nucleus, that is M capital N, total mass of the nucleus. Okay, total mass of the nucleus into c square. This is what the binding energy. Here for example, there is a helium nucleus like helium 2 4. Okay, so here the number of protons. Let us consider the helium is, for example, X, something X element, that is XZA. So here A represents the mass number, Z represents the proton number. Now if you take A minus Z, what is the value of A minus Z? Is a number of neutrons. If you take 4 minus 2, you will get the total number of neutrons, that is 2. The total number of protons in the helium nucleus are 2. The total number of electrons in the helium nucleus are 2. Like that. Now substitute A minus Z value in this equation. Okay, that is binding energy is equals to ZMP plus A minus Z of Mn minus total mass of the nucleus. If you take the mass of the constituent particles, if you remove the total mass of the nucleus from the mass of the constituent particles, that will give you the binding energy. Okay, this is the equation for binding energy. Very important formula, you should remember. Okay Nana, this is the binding energy equation. Now I would like to plot a graph between binding energy per nucleon to the variation with the mass number. The mass number is on x-axis and the binding energy per nucleon on y-axis. What will happen? The binding energy per nucleon variation with the mass number. Okay, here the mass values from 0, 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, like that. And the binding energy per nucleon values are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, like that. So in this case, what will happen? The values for the low mass numbers, for example from 0 to 40, the mass number from 0 to 40, okay, the binding energy curve is like this. The binding energy curve like this means here the binding energy curve gives the peaks. The peaks of the curves you will see from 0 to 40. These are the peaks. Okay. Now whenever you reached the above 40 values, means the mass number which is above, you will see the sharp rise. Okay, you will see the sharp rising of the curve. Okay, the sharp rising of the curve at a maximum value which reaches 8.79, that is almost 8.8. At this value, that is it is 8.79, or it can also called as 8.8. At the value of 8.8, the curve, the binding energy curve reaches the maximum value. The sharply increases and reaches the maximum value. Okay, here the binding energy curve, the value of the, here the 8.8 sharply increases. Here the value of the x-axis, that is mass number, is 56. The 56, what is the atomic number of the atom with the 56 is iron. Okay, at the iron 56, the sharp binding curve is existing with the binding energy 8.8 mega electron volts. Here the binding energy curve drops from this value onwards. The binding energy curve drops slowly to the value of 7.6. okay, here where is the 7.6? It is 6, it is 7. Here from like this. Okay, from 7.6 it will drop like this. Okay, here it drop like this and continuous. The curve is like continuous. Okay, so here for the values of the mass numbers which are large, as the mass number is increasing, the curve is like continuous motion. Okay, so in this case, what binding energy represents? See, in this case, as the mass number is increases, the heavy nucleus have a tendency to convert into its small constituent particles or small constituent values. Means heavy nucleus can be split into smaller nucleus, and smaller nucleus can combine to form the heavy nucleus. This process is called nuclear fission process. This process is called nuclear fusion. Means combination of two smaller nuclei into heavier nuclei is called nuclear fusion, and the heavier nuclei can be split into smaller nuclei is called nuclear fission. This process. In this process, it is called nuclear fusion. It is called nuclear fission. This is called binding energy curve. So in this case, the binding energy curve sharply increases at which value? For the iron 56, the maximum binding energy occurs. The maximum binding energy of the iron is 8.8 mega electron volts. You have to remember very carefully, the binding energy for the iron 56 is 8.8 mega electron volts. Okay, this is what about the binding energy. Thank you.